we are talking about document production. I'm following the syllabus. First, so point A, create an open document using information from different sources. You can have to deal with different kind of documents. For instance, you might have to deal with TXT documents as well as RTF document. Remember that. And I write it here. TXT means text document. Only text without any images or any colors, formatting, bold and italic does not exist. Instead, RTF means rich text format. And it does mean that you have a text which is rich in details. It can be bold, can have images, so on. Remember, to be safe and confident, to save as DOC, which is document, or to save as ODT, which is the OpenOffice document format. Save as ODT, to be sure, to save the changes. Okay, then let's start from opening a simple TXT file. So I open a new document, a new text document from OpenOffice, and I select from here Open, Chapter 10, text6.txt, but you can open also RTF. You can also open a CSV. Do you remember this meaning? Comma separated values. Okay, it is opened. As you can see, there is no format, only text, and I want it to be I save it as a TXT in ODT. Okay, so just have a look on the syllabus. In the syllabus it is written, create an open document using information from different sources. Enter and edit text. So, as you can see, a text can be edited in different ways. For instance, if I select, I can change the character. Remember the difference between serif and sans serif, because you might be asked to, for instance, have a serif font, which is Times New Roman. Times New Roman, as well as you can be asked to have a text in sans serif, so it is Arial. See how is the difference between serif and sans serif. You can also change the character size. This is in pixel measurement, so you can be large or really small. For instance, since the Ponion and the Magic Well looks like a title, I want it to be really large character, so for instance I put it in 15, and then the rest of the text I want it to be put in 10 pixels. I can also choose other formats. I want the text to be bold, I want the text to be italic, I want the text to be underlined. Something else, I want the text to be right aligned, left aligned, center aligned, for instance, also the title must be center aligned. Okay, the text can be right aligned or justified. See the difference between left align and justified. Okay. You might be asked also to change the color of the characters. So you can right click on the character and change the type of font, size, style, character, and you can change the color of the characters. Font, color, okay, for instance, and also the, let's say you have also a button called font color. You can also highlight the text. You can highlight in two ways. You can select the text and then highlight it. This is a way of doing it with the button. Otherwise, character, background, you choose this one. And this is the background behind the text. So I put it in blue, character, blue, and the pony, and also I put the font in blue, and I do not want the highlighting. Okay. Here then, import place from a variety of external sources. Okay, I might want let's say that this is the introduction, and I want to clarify where you can find the most important commands. So clearly, file, you have different options. The most important are the saving and the page preview and the print. Edit, here the most important is paste and paste special, and also undo and repeat. Undo means that you go back to the previous change made. View, here you can view in different ways. And something important that you can find also here is the non-printing characters. Let's try it. As you can see, non-printing characters means the usage of a return command. For instance, I now press return. So anytime I find a new line, there is this symbol at the beginning of the new line, symbol that can be removed. So new line, I press return, and this is the effect, the non-printing. Something also really important, now I am zooming using Ctrl and the mouse wheel, is the point you see between the two words here. You might be asked to correct the, let's say, number of spaces between words. Let's make an example. Without a space, once upon will be one whole word. If I press space, I have 1 point. If I press space twice, I have 2 points. What does it mean? That you might be asked to correct the number of spaces between words. So, in case you are asked to, and you realize that you have 2 points between, for instance, once and upon, you must remove one by pressing Cant or del. Okay. So, view, non-printed characters, I remove it because now I'm not interested in. Okay, here as you can see you can zoom in different way. Insert, this is really important. The most important are manual break, we will see, fields. For instance, you want to put date, automatic date, time, page number and page count. We will see soon the meaning of this. Special characters. For instance, you want to insert a special character like copyright sign. Here it is. Ctrl Z to go back. Insert. Header, really important. Footer, really important. This is similar to what you did in spreadsheet. Comment you are not asked to. You might be asked to insert a table or a picture. Object can be useful for your future study if you want, for instance, to insert formula. Format. The most important part in this menu is character for the characters here and paragraph. You will see how. Anchor and wrap, this can be found when you insert an image or when you insert a table. Table insert might be important in order to insert a table. Tools, spelling and grammar. You might be asked to correct the spelling and grammar inside a document. And then, okay, new windows and close windows, and that is that. Let's start from inserting headers and footers. I insert an header, default. I might be asked to insert the center number, candidate number, and and my name. I can be asked to insert specific information, for instance, the fields, so for instance date, insert time, insert other fields are page number, this one. I often put relatively to, insert page count, so this is the total, the page count is the total number of pages and the page number is the current page you're working with. Insert fields subject that you don't have, insert fields title, you don't have it neither, insert field author, okay, there is no author set, insert field other. For instance, you might be asked to put the file name with the path. So file name with the path, insert. So this is the file name with the path. Be careful because you might be asked to put it left aligned or everything center aligned or right aligned. You might be asked, for instance, to insert different information in 3 different sections of the header and the footer. So let's try to do it with the footer. So insert footer, default. Here I want to insert the fields as date and the fields as, for instance, page number. Okay. You might be asked to insert the date on the left side and the page number on the right side. In order to do this, you can do simply this movement, but actually it is not correct. To do an appropriate formatting in this way of the footer, you can do something like this. You can insert a table made about 2 columns and 1 row. In order it to be invisible, I set the borders of the table invisible. And for instance, here I insert the date, and on the other side I insert the page number, for instance, relatively to the page count, so the total number page. In this cell I set the align left, and in that one align right. And so, as you see, it is perfect. Okay, header and footer already seen. Now, I want to use insert picture. So, I find a picture, so since it is about a pony, I try to find a picture about a pony. You might also be asked to find an image from internet, so be prepared to it. Documents, so I save the image pony. Okay, let's say that you might be asked to insert the image after a specific part of the document. Let's see, after here. So you can insert picture from file, and you might search the file in this way, really from the original. Yes, okay. If it doesn't work, or if you have problem doing this, you can also just drag and drop. So I go back and I drag and drop the image into the position required. Then, how to work with images in general? This might be asked. I right click, I have arrange, bring to front, forward, or send to back, alignment, left, centered and right, left, centered, right. Okay. You can also wrap the text around the image. For instance, no wrap, it's like the present, the current layout, page wrap, but also optimal page wrap, and still, well, wrap through in background, but I think that is not so useful and it does not feel good. So wrap, page wrap. You can also insert a caption, so it means that you might be asked to insert a title for the image, which can be my pony. As you can see here, I am changing the square where I put inside the image and the caption for the image. I don't like it, so I put no wrap. In order to change here the caption, I can also set, let's say, different font. So I select the font and I set it as, for instance, Tunga. And I can also change the size of it, just to be a bit smaller. Regarding the image, we can make different work about the image. So I copy and paste the image here. Okay. For instance, here I can also select a picture and to modify the picture itself. So the picture can be scaled on one side or can be scaled on both sides, maintaining the aspect ratio. Okay. The figure still copy and paste, can be also crop at left, right, top or bottom. For instance, I want to be left and right cropped. Okay. And I can also crop the image on top and bottom. Okay. And okay, so we worked with images and now we can work on the text. So insert, it is done, so there is nothing else to learn. We learn how to use format. You use format basically to change, let's say, the text you are working with. So, for instance, you select the text you want to work with, for instance, only the last one, format, and you choose paragraph, in the sense that the format will be applied only on the text selected. So you can change the filling of the background, for instance. Okay. You can change, what is it? You can change the indent and spacing. For instance, these lines are single spaced. Now there is a 1.5 space, 1.5 line between the lines, so it is 1.5 space between the lines. So line spacing 1.5, or can be also double. You can also, as you see, set a spacing. Okay, so let's say that this is 1.5 and indent. Okay, this is also something which allows you to change the margin of the text. For instance, before text, you can see the change here, and after text. Let's do it again. Table, paragraph, before text, let's put 1 centimeter. Okay, it is fully justified, so we insert also the indent after the text, so it will be also on the other side, so on the left side and on the right side. Okay, so left side, both the right sides are indented. Okay, you can also set the paragraph in order, okay, to be aligned differently also from here. And here you have a different option to choose. You don't want to split paragraph, you want to keep with the next paragraph, or you can also control orphan and windows. This is often asked during the test. Literally it does mean controllo degli orfani e controllo delle vedove. What does it mean? Let's see which will be the final effect. So I put some spaces here and let's look. Have you seen? I put only one space, but the sentence, let's say, the text is not allowed to put only one line alone. So I cannot put the pony posed at the well, etc. alone. It will be together with the following text. This is the effect of orphans, so of orphans and window control. In fact, for instance, I have this line only because here there is a point, and so this sentence ended here, and I have a new sentence in the new sheet. Let's try it again. Yeah, as you can see, all the sentence went on the following page. You might also, let's say, demonstrate that you did it, and so you might be asked to make a screenshot to evidence that you put orphans and widow control. You can also set the number of lines for doing this. Okay, outline the numbering. Okay, you can also put some lists, numbered and unnumbered. For instance, I write here pony, 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 and I want it to be, so I selected it to be numbered or not numbered list. This is something that I can choose also from here, bullets and numbering. Okay. I can also decide to set only one part of the paragraph to be distributed into columns. So I select the paragraph and I choose Format, Columns. I have here the number of columns, for instance 2, and I can set also the spacing, so the gap that must occur between the two columns. For example, I put 0, and this is the effect. But if I put, for instance, 1 centimeter, okay, I can see that there is 1 centimeter gap between the two columns. columns and the section and change case and page. I can also set the page to be different. For instance, I want to set the pages not to be portrait but to be landscape. Okay. I can also choose to set two pages in a different way. For instance, I want the first page to be portrait and I want the second page to be landscape. How to do this? In order to do this, at the end of the page, I insert a break, a manual break. It will be a page break and I can choose the style. For instance, style will be landscape. Which is the effect? So I put here a page break, so a break, and with landscape the second sheet has a landscape orientation. I can do the same also here. For instance, I create a new page, so the following page will be landscape too. I insert as manual break a page break, and the following one will be the default. And so I have portrait, landscape, and portrait again. See that in every page there is the footer, the header, and the footer. And you can copy. Header and footer. If you miss the header, you insert header and you copy. You basically copy, so Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V. Okay. You might be asked first to do the footers and then you have different pages, and then afterwards to put one page landscape oriented, so do not worry. Just to see, here I insert a table. I can set the number of columns and rows, and for the table here I have a menu and I can set everything from this table. So I can set, I can delete one row, for instance, delete rows, or by selecting one row I can add new ones. But before you must select one row in order to add ones. You can merge, and you can also set the type of borders you want. The background, for instance, the background and the borders of which can be different in color, but also different in type. For instance, you want only this, or you want only this. Okay, or you want borders to be different in the thickness. Okay, this is an example, so I just used this and this bottom. You can also merge columns, merge cells. Okay. Last but not least, let's check check for errors. I use this to check errors instead. So let's make errors on purpose. So instead of writing small, I write small, and if I click on it, I use tools spelling and grammar. The spell check is complete, but I want it to be the language, I want it to be for the whole text, I want it to be English. And as you can see, okay, I realized, but because sometimes it's just a suggestion, could be did not realize with a Z, but it must not said. As you can see, small has to be corrected with small. Center might be not used in American English, so might be asked to correct it, but as center instead of center. Traveled. Or remember the non-printing characters, so for instance the space between words. Remember, because you might be asked to correct it. So frightened pony, between the two words there has to be only one space. So let's check the syllabus. Set the font styles and emphasize text, format a list as specified. We saw numbered list and bullets or pointed list. Create, edit and format a table. Use software tools to ensure that the documents are error-free. So the spelling check, the spelling check option here. And proofread and correct the document. And the document has been corrected even for the spaces between the words. Let's check. If you are asked to search for a specific word, for instance problems, you can use either edit, find and replace, or you can use the command Ctrl F. Find and replace, for instance, search for problems, find, and you will see that all the word problem will be underlined. Let's say I retry, I write none, and there is only one. This is everything for Word, so it is really easy to learn. Just practice and try different commands.